when my wife, Brittany, came home after a 4-day trip to Cancun with her friends. She looked happier than I had seen her in many months. Her face was glowing from the sun, and her smile was so bright that it filled the whole room. She dropped her heavy bags and gave me a big, tight hug, then kissed my cheek softly. Her voice was kind. She acted as though nothing unusual had happened while she was away. She even brought me a colorful souvenir shirt and joked that I really should have gone with them. I smiled and felt relief. I believed the warm sunshine and laughing with her friends had helped her relax. A quiet evening. That evening, we sat down for dinner and opened a bottle of wine to celebrate her being home. She talked about the beaches, the fancy restaurants, and the little shops they visited. It felt like a perfect night. By the time we finished the second bottle of wine, Brittany was starting to sound a bit sleepy. Her words were fuzzy, and she laughed at stories that didn't make much sense. She leaned back on the couch with a carefree smile. I started to pick up the glasses to take them to the kitchen. Suddenly, she giggled and whispered something I never expected to hear. "Jake kisses way better than you do." The silence that followed. The room went quiet instantly. Her smile disappeared the moment she realized what she had said. She covered her mouth with both hands and stared at me with eyes full of terror. I didn't ask who Jake was. The look on her face and the way she went stiff told me everything I needed to know. For several seconds, neither of us said a word. The silence was very heavy. Finally, Brittany whispered, "Michael, I didn't mean that." I stayed calm. I set the wine glass down. I looked her in the eyes and asked one quiet question. "Who is Jake?" I waited for her to speak, but she sat frozen. Tears filled her eyes right away. She looked for an explanation, but every sentence she started just fell apart. The silence between us felt heavy. Deep down, she knew the truth had escaped before she could stop it. I wasn't angry. I was just waiting to see if she would finally be honest or keep hiding the secrets she brought home in her suitcase. Brittany put her face in her hands and started to cry. "I met him on the second night," she admitted. She said it was only supposed to happen once, but it lasted for the rest of the trip. She couldn't keep the lie going anymore. Lies and choices. Every word felt like a heavy stone. For 4 days, she had lied to me. She sent happy text messages and photos of her smiling while she was with someone else. I sat quietly and let the truth settle in. This wasn't found by snooping. It was revealed by one accidental sentence. Brittany reached for my hand, but I pulled it away. "Please don't let one mistake end our marriage," she begged. I looked at her and said it wasn't just one mistake. It was 4 days of choices followed by dozens of lies to cover it up. She chose to hurt me every day on that trip. The morning after. The next morning, Brittany woke up with a headache and remembered everything she had confessed. She found me sitting at the kitchen table with 2 untouched cups of coffee between us. "Please tell me last night was a nightmare," she whispered. I looked at her sadly and said, "It became my reality the moment you said his name." She broke down crying. She admitted she had planned to bury the affair forever. She thought if she never spoke about it, we could move on. Instead, one slip had destroyed the secret. She realized her plan to lie to me forever had failed because of a few drinks that night. Searching for answers. Over the next few days, Brittany answered my questions without making excuses. She admitted the affair was a choice she made on purpose, not a moment of confusion. Hearing that was painful, but it removed every doubt. I contacted an attorney and spent a few nights away from home to think clearly. Brittany begged me to attend counseling before making a final decision. I agreed to one talk, not because I trusted her, but because I wanted our future choices to be made with complete honesty instead of unanswered questions. I needed the whole story before walking away for good. I wanted to be sure. Difficult lessons. Counseling forced both of us to face very uncomfortable truths. Brittany admitted she had been chasing excitement and a feeling of being young again instead of addressing the real problems in our marriage. I admitted I had ignored the obvious signs of us growing apart because I believed that love alone would be enough to fix everything. Those conversations were very painful, but they were finally honest. In the end, we both realized that rebuilding a relationship takes much more than just saying you are sorry. It requires a strong foundation of trust, and our foundation had been shattered long before confession. We were just pretending to be okay. A new beginning. A few months later, we finalized our divorce quietly. Friends were surprised because there were no public arguments. They never knew that one drunken sentence had settled every question between us. The confession didn't end our marriage. The choices made before it did. Alcohol just removed the filter hiding the truth. This taught me that peace begins when you stop ignoring reality. Accepting the truth, however painful, was the first step to rebuilding my life. Honesty arrived too late to save us, but arrived soon enough to stop me from living a lie. And now I can finally breathe again, while knowing I am living my own true life with a sense of real peace.